In Superior, Wisconsin, on the western tip of Lake Superior, sits the Allouez Taconite facility. This unique complex, known as BNSF's Great Lakes Connection, unloads and transports taconite, an iron-rich mineral used in the steel-making industry. The facility began processing raw ore in 1892, and the complex continues to be an industrial staple in Superior's Allouez neighborhood.
The Allouez Taconite facility is a transloading facility, and this facility runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all 3 shifts, non-stop.
A group of about 90 employees works to unload taconite trains and load ships, processing about 35,000 long tons of the material per day. Because of the facility's location and function, environmental compliance is a major component of their work.
Permits and regulations are in place to help us protect the air, the water, the environment, and the community around us. It's really important for our operations because we're located so close to a community around the facility, and also we're located right on the shores of Lake Superior, which is the largest freshwater lake in the world. Through the Environmental Best Way program, we've taken the time to identify the environmental risks we have at the facility and come up with ideas and ways that we can help reduce that risk in order to continuously improve our performance.
For example, Allouez has installed bag houses to capture airborne taconite dust indoors, and outdoor stockpiles are sprayed during use. Chutes and hoppers cover the moving ore in key areas to help reduce the amount of dust generated, and a series of ponds, lagoons, and ditches help treat storm and wastewater before it's released to nearby waterways. Allouez serves 3 mining companies and receives about 2 180 car trains per day. When the trains come in, taconite pellets are unloaded at one of 2 car dumps. The older one is part of a system built in 1966, and the newer system was built 11 years later.
Taconite is a mineral that comes out of the ground. It's in rock form. It's crushed down into a pellet and mixed with bentonite and clay, and it's used to make steel. The ships will come in here and they'll get filled up, we'll load them up, and then that gets shipped out to different parts and used for various things.
The older car dump empties a train in about 12 hours, and the new one takes about 4.5 hours. Train crews bring trains into both the old and new car dumps. Once parked, control is turned over to operators who oversee unloading of the cars 3 at a time.
The train crews bring the train in and then they release it to the taconite facility. And then the car dump operator will go in there and set up the train where he needs it. The positioner will pull up 3 cars at a time. The door openers will open up the car doors, and there's about 100 tons in each car.
During the winter months, snow and ice sometimes cause taconite to freeze solid inside the ore cars. In these cases, taconite facility employees use propane thawing torches to thaw the ore so the load can empty out of the cars into the pits 2 stories below. There, it feeds onto a series of belts and onto the main belt line.
Where each belt comes together is where there's a junction house. That's where the drive motors are. And to keep the motors and all the electrical components and everything out of the weather.
Allouez contains 8 junction houses. 2 of them use computerized scales that help Allouez regulate taconite movement. The first set validates what material is brought into the facility to ensure correct payment. The second set is used for the inventory process. 2 conveyor systems help move taconite from the car dumps, either to stockpile areas or directly to the dock to be shipped. The older conveyor system carries about 3,500 long tons of taconite per hour, and the new one about 6,000. Altogether, the belts measure about 12 miles. Taconite travels at 670 feet per minute, passing over local homes and businesses before reaching the end of the docks. The belts range from 36 inches to 72 inches and can carry up to 6,000 long tons per hour. They are made of steel cable core and 5-ply fabric.
The mines don't close down. They keep making taconite even when the shipping season is ended.
Allouez stores and ships 3 types of ore, 2 from the Hibbing Taconite Company mine and 1 from Keewatin Taconite. Unloading these trains promptly is a priority, so taconite not ready for shipment is routed to stockpile areas for temporary storage. All 3 are stored in one of 2 stockpiles. The older conveyor system delivers material to a 60-acre space that holds 1.5 million tons. The newer system is 90 acres and can hold 3.3 million tons. As ships come in ready to load, the taconite is retrieved from a stockpile by reclaim equipment. An employee operating a bucket wheel removes taconite from the ground. It then gets deposited onto a stacker, which moves the ore onto the belt. The stacker can also deposit taconite coming from the mines. The stockpiles are large, so sometimes a transfer conveyor is needed to access the pile's far reaches. This machine can also load or unload ore. Whether coming directly from trains or from the stockpile area, the final destination for the taconite pellets is ships at port.
Taconite that we ship out of the boats, they usually take it to Canada or down to the lower Great Lakes, Pittsburgh areas that way, down through Indiana. This is where we take the taconite from the stockyard and we put it in our bins and we prepare it to load to the boat when it comes in.
The ship loading process begins with each boat sending a notice of their desired load. Large trippers move along the dock, dumping taconite into one of 2 sets of silos, one on the east side of the dock and one on the west. Each set of 18 concrete silos is 42 feet wide and 92 feet high, and they can hold 2,000 long tons each. Altogether, the dock capacity is 72,000 tons. Ship loaders continually communicate with the reclaimers in the yard and the ship's first mate. Together with others positioned along the ship, they monitor the loads to ensure even product distribution and keep the ship from tipping in any one direction.
I basically just make sure I keep the boat level. I don't want to go too much port or too much starboard. And he'll just try to keep it level going down. I just try to keep it level going side to side.
Scales on each loading shuttle gather tonnage data. Ships may pause to pump water out or shift to line up their hatches with each silo shuttle. White, red, and green lights guide ship loaders safely through the process. Depending on all these factors, the loading process takes between 4 and 18 hours.
It is important that all the way from the operator to the foreman to the ship loader, even right down to the first mate, everybody's communicating together.
Safety is important around here because we have a lot of moving equipment. We have a lot of safeguards put in so to protect the employee from it.
Although operations at Allouez have changed significantly over the years, employees here continue to work safely, proudly serving their customers and their community.